Hello, hello, good people. Hello, welcome back to another episode of Make America Think Again with Shauna Car Conversations. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Everybody down below, you can see, the correct spelling of my name, my IG page, where I post a lot of political information throughout the week. So please make sure that you go into my page for updates on things that are happening. And then, oh, also my Cash App is there. So if you all want to contribute to the page, please use the Cash App. All right, so we're going to talk about daddy dictators and Davos. Daddy dictator and Davos. So the felon was in Davos this week. And oh, I'm sorry, for all of you that were looking for the live, yeah, things were not working. The technology was not being my friend today. So that's why you're getting this recording. Okay, so daddy, dictator, and Davos. So the felon was in Davos at the economic forum that was happening in Davos. And he just cannot help himself. He's just an international embarrassment. He's just an international embarrassment. First of all, he gets on the world stage talking about how Iceland, that's number one. Iceland, he repeatedly said Iceland when he was referring to, when he actually needed to be talking about or wanted to talk about Greenland. So he was getting his countries confused. That's number one. And then he said something, and I'm paraphrasing here, something along the lines of, they used to call me daddy. Right-wing people, y'all help me out. Why are y'all calling this man daddy? Matter of fact, grown ass men, conservative, far right, whatever you call yourselves, white Christian nationalists, why are you calling another grown ass man daddy? Please drop it in the comments, explain it to me. Because to me, it comes off as somebody who is just subservient, somebody who is submissive, somebody who is just a weak, feckless follower, somebody who doesn't use their own critical thinking skills, and you're just waiting for the narrative to regurgitate for your daddy. I don't get it. I don't get it. And then you want to claim to be so macho and heterosexual and manly men, and you calling another grown ass man daddy. And I know I've done another video on this. I didn't get any response though. I truly want to know why y'all calling him daddy. And why y'all haven't thought that this makes you look like the antithesis of what you try to project. It really makes you look weak and weird. Like, come on. So he's on the world stage saying that people call him daddy, the world stage. Not here just for, us to be embarrassed when he, goes on television or when he's sitting at the Resolute desk. The whole world watch him say that people call him daddy. That's number one. He kept repeating Iceland instead of saying Greenland. This is a person who has wanted to invade, just 2 days ago, wanted to invade Greenland, but he can't remember the country that he wanted to invade while he's on that stand. He's been talking about it since his first term. He's been talking about taking Greenland since his first term. He wants to put his name all over the world, all over shit. He's been talking about this forever, but you repeatedly called it Iceland. How does that happen? How does that happen, Dementia Dawn? If there's not something wrong that's going on up here, how does that happen? You had Jesse Waters on Faux News calling him daddy. Talk about daddy's home, he's ready for it's just gross. It's just nasty. It's weird. What's wrong with y'all? What is wrong? It just, like I said, y'all grown ass men, it makes you look weird and freaky. Makes you look like the antithesis of what you claim to be. It makes you look like just a bunch of subservient, submissive, low testosterone, micro penis weirdos. It does. It does. Stop saying that shit. It's weird. Then he brings up the dictator shit again. So he says, and again, I'm going to paraphrase, that, people say that, said that, we need a dictator, but we don't need a dictator. But hey, maybe we do need a dictator. Now, this is the moment where you really need to listen to him because there are times, actually all the time, every time he talks, he has a whole bunch of lies. He has a whole bunch of stuff he sets up for laughs because he thinks of himself as a comedian in his head. I think. Um, but there's always a little truth bomb in there. He always says the quiet part out loud. And this was it again, talking about, well, sometimes you do need a dictator. And who would be the perfect dictator? Felon. Who do you think would be the perfect dictator? So, yeah, the dementia is really showing now the left hand or the right hand, the opposite hand, both hands have the blackening and purple bruising. So that whole lie that KKK Caroline was trying to spend that, oh, his hand is bruised from shaking so many hands. Bullshit. We knew that was bullshit in the beginning. And now what you gonna tell us? He's shaking with both hands? Is that what he's doing out here? He's ambidextrous now, all of a sudden, at damn near 80 years old. Come on, Caroline. Come on. So then when pressed by the press and journalists and asked about, okay, so during the time he was in Davos, he picked up on the fact that no one was laughing at the jokes that he was trying to throw out there. Everybody seemed to have a problem with him going after Greenland. So he tacoed. He tacoed. He backed off of Greenland. And then he says, well, this was his out. He was saying, oh, but I have a plan. I've got concepts of a plan. Again, he has concepts of a plan. So he was pressed by the press. What is this concept of a plan? How long will it take to implement it? How long will it last? And he said, the plan is infinite. It will last. It could last forever. Now, y'all know he was lying. Y'all know he was like, he was just saying some bullshit. He's a professional bullshitter. He's never been good at real estate. He's never been good at managing money. What else is he? He's horrible at golf. He's horrifically, egregiously bad at running a country. The only thing he is good at, the art of the deal, he's bad at that shit too. Somebody else wrote that book for him. The only thing he's good at is being a bullshitter and a con artist. That's it. So he responded with, I've got this concept of a plan and we're building it right now and it's going to be infinite. This is your guy, huh, MAGA? This is your guy, MAGAs. This is your guy that you've hitched your wagon to, and you're going to go off the ends of the earth for. This is your guy. So for the second week in a row, they've tried to gaslight us. First, they tried to gaslight us on Renee Good, and then you had KKK Caroline come along and say, oh no, he didn't mistake Iceland for Greenland. That was intentional. He was saying that Greenland is just a big block of ice. That's what she had the audacity to say. Y'all, he's been talking about Greenland since his first term. There's no way in the world this man should be getting Iceland and Greenland confused. And just like healthcare, there is no plan. He has no plan. He wanted to back off of all the threats in that moment because he felt isolated. Nobody met him to get off the plane. People were not talking to him. He was getting trashed in that room. He wanted to back off, so he tacoed on Greenland and he embarrassed us, just fully embarrassed us as a country on the main stage. Him and the Letnick dude. The Letnick dude was there talking crazy too, just talking dumb. And then at some point, he just refused to answer the next question. He's like, no, I'm not responding to that. Why? Because he didn't have an answer. He didn't have an answer and he couldn't even bullshit his way through. So he just said no. Meanwhile, back here in America, ICE is snatching 5-year-olds off the street, scooping them up, trying to use them as bait to get the parents. And then when they can't get the mom, lure the mom out of the home, they're sending the child and the dad away. They're on Zoom. They have been on Zoom, snatching kids while they're on Zoom. And the other students who are in the classroom are watching their friends, their classmates get snatched up by the icy folks on Zoom. They're going on buses and taking children. They've killed, unalived another person in a detention center. But this is y'all's daddy. This is y'all's daddy. You subservient, submissive, weak, feckless followers who don't, I'm not even going to say that you don't have the brain cells. What it is, I believe, correct me, don't correct me because I know I'm right. You have implemented this willful ignorance. You have decided that you're only going to be a follower and just dish out the narrative that you're given. You won't research anything. You won't look up anything. You won't do your own due diligence because it's easier to be willfully ignorant and just follow the leader, follow your daddy. You have the critical thinking skills. You could use them. You're choosing not to. Why are you choosing not to? I think you're choosing not to because if you did, then you'd have to admit that you have been wrong, especially you triple Trumpers. You have been wrong since 2015. You have been wrong over 10 years. You'd have to admit that, not to us, to yourself. And you don't want to do that. So you'll remain willfully ignorant and continue to be a grown-ass man walking around calling another man daddy. And that's a sad, sad state of affairs.